Hello, Facebook Live. Lindsay Price here, resident playwright for Theater Folk. We are live. It's quite possible that there is nobody on Facebook right now. Is that possible? I don't know if that's possible, but I thought that for those of you who are maybe not watching something else that might be happening right now, that you could come on Facebook and see my face. I apologize. I have a different background today, though. And get a free giveaway. That's right. I have a giveaway tonight. All you got to do is click on the link. It is a great poster, and I'm going to share it with you. And we're going to talk about something else. It's all about theater students. What are theater students? Right? That is the poster, and it's beautiful. I'm going to share it with you so that you can see what it looks like beforehand. So things are off of our usual schedule, my usual schedule for these Facebook Lives for lots of reasons. The ones on the Fridays, I'm in the middle of a new gig from now until sometime in March, which is an adjudication gig. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about adjudication. I know now is the time that many people are doing one-acts, thespian one-acts happening in November. Oh, that's not going to work either. And those come with adjudications, and sometimes they can be extremely painful for students to sit through. If you get stuck with an adjudicator who doesn't know how to talk to students and who doesn't know how to give constructive feedback, just because somebody is a professional does not mean they have any idea how to actually give an adjudication in an educational context. See, as far as I'm concerned, I think all adjudications are an educational context. I don't believe in a notion of tough love, of this sucks, you should do this better. I don't believe in being harsh. And that's not to say you should be loosey-goosey with an adjudication. If there are things that a production is struggling with, they have to be addressed. But there are certainly ways in which to address issues that you don't have to crush somebody or make them never want to act again. And that is the reason I got into adjudication in the first place, because I would go to festivals and I would have these wonderful conversations with students doing my work. Lindsay Price one-act plays, they're really great for competition. They're all like 30, 35 minutes, one-acts. You should go look, Lindsay Price. Go look me up. Theater Folk, it's all good. They would do my plays, and they would go to their adjudications, and they would come back devastated. Like, completely devastated by what the adjudicator had to say to them. To the point where they would say, well, I don't ever need to do this again. I am discouraged. What's the point? And so that means that an adjudicator has demoralized a student. Why? I don't know. And also completely missed out on on a learning opportunity, on an education opportunity. And it's really important, I think, when we're dealing with students, that all our opportunities are learning opportunities. The adjudicating that I'm doing right now is mostly with adults. It's community theater. But they feel exactly the same way that students do, right? They're nervous when before I walk into a room to give, I have to give hour-long private adjudications where we talk about the play in length, and we talk about the set and the lighting and all the backstage stuff and all the character stuff. I have to take a moment with each and every character who is in the piece and say something to them. And they're nervous. Why wouldn't you be nervous? Why wouldn't you be nervous about somebody coming in and saying something about a piece that you have worked long and hard on. And that's why I think that the approach of an adjudicator should always be kind but constructive. Constructive is the key. What are your experiences with adjudication? What have you watched your students struggle with when it comes to adjudication? And when should you not listen to an adjudicator? That is the little thing I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to show you the poster that we are giving away in tonight's giveaway, which is it's above, right? Right. Okay. So I think this is a darling, awesome poster. There we go. And so this is tonight's giveaway. And it's all the wonderful things that theater students are. Theater students are understanding and enthusiastic and determined and compassionate and positive and creative and inclusive, diverse, open-minded, dedicated, energetic, accepting, and passionate. And these are all things that when it comes to an adjudication can get squashed. I have seen all of these things get squashed in theater students. I think this is all the reason why I know so many of you teach, because you get to deal with students who are creative and diverse and dedicated and energetic and understanding, enthusiastic, determined, compassionate, positive. So this giveaway here, this poster, is the link is in the description, whether that be above the video right now or below the video, but it is there. All you have to do is take that link, put it into your browser, and you will get a download of this wonderful thing. Okay, so let's talk. Oh, almost ended myself. Let's talk. I will show that poster again if later on, right before we finish. I will show that poster again so that you know what it looks like. Again, Lindsay Price here, resident playwright for Theater Folk. Thank you for having my face in your Facebook feed. Could just be you and me tonight. It could just be you and me. Something else is happening. I don't know what. I wanted to take this opportunity to offer a free giveaway from us here at Theater Folk Global Headquarters, and you know, we're in a field, or in a moment of lots of judging is going on, isn't it? There's lots of judging going on. That is the thing that happens in an adjudication. One person sometimes comes in and gives an opinion on your work, your hard work, your approach maybe that the adjudicator doesn't agree with. Sometimes, which is my biggest pet peeve of adjudicators, is when an adjudicator adjudicates the script, which frankly is none of their beeswax. It's the adjudicator should always look at how the production is approaching the script and presenting the script, and whether they like it or not is irrelevant. I have done many adjudications where I wasn't all that fond of the script, and they did great. They had characterization. They had wonderful staging. They had all of the basics of theater were well presented. Great diction, excellent physicalization, and a wonderful projection. That means it was a great production. So when should you not listen to an adjudicator? And if you have an opinion on that, put it in the comments. That's something to share, because that's sometimes pretty confusing for students when they hear feedback and they walk into an adjudication situation. There's somebody who is presenting as a professional. There's someone who is presenting as someone who knows a lot of theater. There's someone who is presenting always as an adult, mostly as an adult, I hope they're. And when they get an adjudication that is crushing, it's hard to take and it's hard to process. So how do we help students process an adjudication, and when should you listen to an adjudicator and when should you not. So when should you not? You should not listen to an adjudicator when they keep talking about the script. If they talk about how much they don't like the script, the adjudication they give it's not going to be valuable. And in particular, if they don't like the script and they're basing their adjudication on that, then it's not valuable to you, and you should just sit there and smile and wait for it to be over and go on with your life. If an adjudicator is talks in frames all their adjudications in, well, when I directed this play, or when I was in this play, or in that framework, when they are referencing things that they did rather than things that you are doing, that's an opportunity not to listen to what the adjudicator has to say. It's not supposed to be about them. It's supposed to be about you and what you are doing and how you are bringing the script to the stage. And if they are comparing their what they did to what you are doing, that's not going to be valuable for you. If everything is framed in a in really negative terms, again, you don't have to be fluffy in an adjudicator. If an adjudicator says they loved everything, this is another thing that's confusing. Actually, and this is when you shouldn't listen to a director, is if you have an adjudicator who is speaking in extremes. I loved everything that you did. I loved this, and I loved the characters, and I loved the costumes. Oh, is there anything we can improve? No, everything was perfect. It was awesome. I'm love, love, love. Okay, so, but that, again, you're missing, and the adjudicator is missing an educational opportunity to help students improve their next role, or their next directing, or their next what have you. So that's kind of that's not as helpful. That is the same kind of unhelpfulness as somebody who says, "Oh, I hated this. Oh, I hated when you did this. Oh, that. Oh, hate. It's the same unhelpfulness. If you have an adjudicator, I know it's better. It's really great when an adjudicator comes and says they love you to bits and love you to pieces and love everything that you are doing. But if we're looking at adjudication as an education process, there has to be something there that is of value as a learning experience. And then what sometimes happens too is an adjudicator says, I love this, don't change this, it's wonderful, it's perfect, and then your production doesn't get moved forward. Your production doesn't get any awards. Your production isn't acknowledged with all of that love, and that can be very confusing. There has to be a reason, Oh, I enjoyed this because you did this, right? If I say that I enjoyed something in a production, I want always to be able to say why, right? I enjoyed this character. This character is an evil character, and I enjoyed I really enjoyed the way that you took up personal space with another character. I liked how you physicalized this, the evilness in this character by your status, right? Specific things. Oh, you know what? Hey, tell me what is your intention of this character in this scene. Wow, that is a really interesting intention. That was not something I saw in the presentation. Here's a suggestion I would give to take what you're thinking and put it on stage. Right? That's another thing. If you have an adjudicator who is talking in I love this and I hate this, but they're not giving any specific examples of why they love it or why they hate it, that's not valuable. Okay? So that's when if you're sitting in an adjudication and you are getting these kinds of responses, they reject the play, they hate the play, they are comparing their experience to your experience. When I directed this play, when I was in this play, when I did this character, If they're speaking in extremes without anything to back it up, they're not giving you any specific examples, nothing, no learning experience happening. Those are times when it is more useful just to let the adjudication happen and walk out and enjoy your life. And there's really no point, nor should you ever engage in a confrontation with an adjudicator. That's not going to get you anywhere, particularly if an adjudicator has already presented as someone who, let's say they're grumpy, and that they are presenting with tough love. Well, to confront them is only going to cause more ire, and that doesn't help anybody. When should you listen to an adjudicator? An adjudicator is talking about the basics. A physicalization of your character, and more specifically, if the adjudicator notices a physical tick, such as shifting, such as nervously, playing with your hair, a gesture that sort of repeats and doesn't seem character driven, if an adjudicator is picking up on basic issues such as physicalization that seems to come from the actor as opposed to from the character, vocal issues, projection, diction, lack of variety of tone. Those are the basics, and those need to be the basics of everybody's performance. And if a production is lacking in those, that's something to pay attention to. You cannot ignore the basics. These are the foundations and the building blocks of a great performance. And if you have a performance that is missing your foundational elements, that's a problem. If an adjudicator talks about your choices, and even if they don't like your choices, because that happens all the time, but they're encouraging of the fact that you made a choice, or that they are, hey, you made this choice, and that made me think of choice XYZ. That means that things that you're doing are exciting, and they make the adjudicator think. And just because they don't, this is an important distinction. It's not saying that they don't like you and they don't like what you're doing. It just might not be a choice that that speaks to them. Like a character that you could play at A or you could play at B. You play at B. The adjudicator is, for me, the intention of the script is really A. However, the fact that you made a choice, and also I always ask students and directors about their choice, and if you can defend your choice, meaning not defend your choice, but just talk about why you made the choice you did, that pleases me to no end as an adjudicator. So if there's conversation happening with your adjudicator, that's what this is all boiling down to. If there's dialogue going on with your adjudicator, if there are choices that are being discussed, if there are suggestions happening, be open to that. Don't shut down. Don't sit there like this and shut down an adjudicator who wants to discuss your choices, who wants to suggest some other choices. My big thing is like, look, you're not going to change your play. This is all about possibilities for the future, possibilities for another production. Hey, this is something that, based on what I saw you guys doing, it inspired me to think of this. Hey, did you ever think about this physical picture? It's all about discussion and choices. And that's kind of what the adjudicator's job is to make observations. What are the things that worked? Ask questions and get your side of the story, and offer suggestions. So that is when you should be, if that's happening in an adjudication, that's not a bad thing. Even if you're not, maybe you don't like the adjudicator, you have made this great choice, and the adjudicator is not as keen on it as you, if they're not being the grumpy, I hate you, I hate your life adjudicator, you should listen to them. Okay, so we are going to wrap this up. And I'm going to show you the poster again that you can get. It is a wonderful theater students art. These amazing things. And it's a great thing that you can put into your classroom and share your, you can share your thoughts with these wonderful kids in our classrooms. Theater students are, right? What are all the things that theater students are? Understanding, enthusiastic, determined, compassionate, positive, creative, inclusive, diverse, open-minded, dedicated, energetic, passionate, accepting. All you have to do is get the link in the description and put that into your browser, and this poster will be yours. And you'll also kind of get hooked up with our wonderful newsletter where we tell you all the great things that are happening, more things that you can use in your classroom, podcasts that you can listen to, things that are going to make your life good. So I'm going to finish up. It could just be you and me. It could have been that you and me. You and I. Me and you, we could be the only ones not watching another certain something that's happening at this exact moment in time. And that's okay, because that means I can share something with you, and you can share it with your students, because I think that this might be one of my favorite posters that we've put out, because I think theater students are pretty amazing, and I know you do too. Have a good night.